Good afternoon. My name is Yibo Koko. It's a wonderful experience to be here today to talk about TED or to talk about creativity on TED or in TED. I'm wearing a jacket in the tropics, and it's a wonderful jacket about vision, the art of seeing things invisible. Now, the Web Dictionary defines vision as A, vivid mental image; 2, the ability to see, that is the visual faculty; and 3, the perceptual experience of seeing; and 4, which is key, the formation of a mental image of something that is not perceived as real and is not present to the senses. Not perceived as real. So you make it what? Real. You see it. And creativity is all about that. And for me to go further, I like to tell a story. The first person narrative, as they say in literature, which is my story. I grew up in the village, Amadiama, just way back on Abloma Road there. We used to do what they call buluwake, go for fishing. Went to school where teachers were not particularly that excellent, as you would speak, but they knew how to take us on the Tatari Goduri, which is ABC in Okrika language. So I didn't know much about the use of the English language. I liked Christmas, Easter, and New Year because then I could watch the masquerades. I could see the rich cultural heritage, the dance forms. I used to come out on those days and join them. It's called Barakori, accompany the masquerade dancer and go along. When my great-grandfather, who was my guardian angel, assumed erroneously that if they left me in the village, I would become a native doctor. So he shipped me away to meet my uncle, who just came back from the UK, and to live with him. I did not have to speak any other language than the native Igbo language and Okrika, and a little bit of Aquarian. So that became vernacular and broken. I learned how to speak English, which I didn't know actually. So I went to Township School on Moscow Road and became friends with the State Library on Bentcar Street. I came across books like Aaron the Alligator, and it lightens hop, skip, and jump, which is my favorite actually. Then the famous 5. I left that. I went to Okrika Grammar School, Okrika, where it was compulsory for me to do physics, maths, and biology with chemistry to become what? An aeronautical engineer. That's what they wanted me to be. But I wanted to be in their local world, a native doctor. I wanted to dance. I could see myself as a dancer, as a creator of dance. But one day, I watched a play called The Gods Are Not to Blame, which is, as you will say, an adaptation of Sophocles' Oedipus Rex. I was written by a man called Professor Ola Rotimi, a very diminutive man. And I said, if this small man, but not as small as Aki Apokolo, but if this small man could create this kind of stuff, then I would relay back to the vision of the masquerade dances that I saw in the village and do that. So I studied theatre arts. I was very good as a dancer, not academically good in terms of theory, but by practice I was top of my class. I left there, went to the streets of Nigeria, no more theatre, so what did we do? I saw the world as a stage. Like Shakespeare will say, I wanted to perform, but no theatre, so I started doing things again with my imagination, creating the visions of what I knew I could do, which is art forms, dance forms, create things on stage, create images. I learned that. One day again, I wanted to be a filmmaker. There's nowhere for me to study film than to go to just know. I went to study captions in Oxford, left, I got a scholarship actually, then went to New York Film Academy, Hollywood. I can't go on if you're not being used now. Then came back. When I came back again, the theory is what? There's theory, and there's practice. All I knew there, I had no what? Technical support. We don't have technical support in this country as much as we want, but we have content. And content is what makes us cool, like David would say, it's our culture. It's in us to create better things, but because we don't have the technical support, so what do? You see. Close your eyes. You conceive of the idea, and when you see it, you can create it. And that's key. If you're there, give me the next slide. Let me show you, try to explain how you can see. Now, this is a truck. It's a low bed, isn't it? Okay? So, we want to create something. And we've not been to Trinidad and Tobago, we've not been to Brazil, but it's a carnival in Abuja. So, these are the things we begin to see. Let me see the next slide. Sorry. No, this is not part of the truck. Now, this is a light. This light is with bamboo stick. And the bamboo was done somewhere in Yibo. Because we could see that light could come out of this in different formats. So we created the bamboo and put the average bulb inside with a little bit of paint on top of it. And that's the kind of light you will see. Because we saw that light in that bamboo stick. And that's why it comes out as lovely. Next slide, please. Now, this is the truck. On that truck, we've created what they call a float. In Nigeria here, in Rivers State, but this is the Calabar Carnival, where you have nothing to show than just what? Your vision. I want to build a cock. What do? It's a convergence of ideas. A convergence of ideas. We gather together and we what? Task ourselves. We want to see a cock. How do you create the cock? And this is it. Because it's there, because we thought about it, and because you want to create the cock, what do you see? It's a cock. Next slide. It's a 68-feet shark on that same truck somewhere else. We saw the shark. It's a great white shark. How can this be built in a country where technical support is lacking? But because we know that we have seen it, there are no limitations to my sight. And that creative ability to see is key. And because we saw this shark, this is the shark. Impossible is nothing. Next slide. Now, this is the same truck in Calabar again. Behind the truck is a rocket. We wanted to create a rocket launcher, and this is that rocket. Next slide. This is another truck, the one with the cock back of it. One more slide, there we go. We lost that particular slide. What I'm trying to say to you is that vision is key to our existence creatively, because you must have a pure mind. It's like a slate. When you go into somewhere, you have a blank slate. Don't believe that you need to fill in the space. No. Leave it blank. Get to hear the story. When you hear the story, you begin to create images based on the sights that you see as the story is being told. In this country, if you don't know how to fill in the blank slates with the visions that you have in your creative mind, not just as an artist, but in your everyday life, is what hustle and flow. The average Nigerian wants to be what? A better person. Look after the country, look after your home front. But what is key is that if you can see that, then it is possible for you to achieve it. So we say art. Without art in our lives, then living is going to be so much unbearable. Because with art, everything becomes simplified. If you know what I mean. Therefore, if you want to believe that you can see, close your eyes. If you close your eyes, you begin to see. And when you begin to see, you begin to create forms. And when you create those forms, if you go further in the book, it says, let there be what? Light. And there was light. Because it's the power that you have to be able to create the kind of vision that is in you. Going back to when I was in OGS, we used to dance a lot. And while dancing, one of the things that was key was that we would go to where they play Odom masquerades. Odom masquerades is non-existent again because of our Christian belief. And you now say that it's about what? Devil worship. But then it was so spectacular with the way in which the people would dance. And when they did the dancing, we copied those movements. And those movements became our everyday kind of movement. Because if you're on the street, you have no technical support. I'm talking about creativity now. If you do not have technical support, but you have content, what is key is the ability to put your content into practice. And the only way you can put that into practice is your ability and your desire to believe in that. Because if you don't have the belief that the end result can be done, then you have a problem. Explore, express yourself, and I will say, whatever that is vividly imagined, ardently desired, sincerely believed, must inevitably come to pass. Because if you do not believe in it, if you do not see your belief, it can't come to pass. You're going to be judged by the standards of people that you believe are inept. And like the last speaker said, in my own word, if we put it this way, say, never look unto him whom you think is more beautiful than you, and imitate. For in you have your own beauty. And the only way you can do that is to research yourself. You research, you search. And when you discover that which is your beauty, then you can expand, then you can expound upon it. And when you do that, people will tell stories about you. And this person, again, the eye sees not itself unless there's some reflection. So people will see you based on the visions of your footprints, a particular sand of life. I tell you this story because it's true. That if you focus, even when things are not particularly right for you, if you can see that, believe in so much that it will happen. It will happen. Irrespective of the fact that we are in an environment where we need to struggle, where we need to settle the lecturer to get by, where we need to settle other people to settle other things to settle us. But what is key in all of these settlements is that if you settle yourself, with a vision of seeing, then you can make it happen. It's no magic you've seen Avatar. It's no magic that you've seen the Matrix. They saw it. How you could use still images to create motion. They saw it. How would he leave the movement of cartoons to stay for 12 years? He was still seeing until you saw Avatar became box office hit. Because he saw it. And once Avatar came out, it became like anybody could do that jack. But before it came out, he had seen it for so long, but was waiting for the day to make it happen. And it happened 12 years after. So let's don't be impatient in trying to create our sightline. Remain focused on that. Because we might have things that derail you here and there. But what is key, consistency is what? What will make you go? See, believing in that vision. And if you can see, repeatedly I'm using the word see, the vision, because it's key. I'm not here to give you storylines about technology or any other thing than just the art form of creativity, which is dead. Create. Life is what? Like a stage. Make do with it. Every time you see yourself in a particular situation, how do you make it better? Is, I would say, close your eyes. TED is a vision. And I know the organizers have always wanted to do this. They saw it, they put everything together to make this happen. So that's how we should approach life. Approach life as being in this country, where we are waiting for changes to be made because we rely on those in power. But you can take that, strong hold on it, sit tight, look at your life, take stock, way back and forward. Okay, we've made the mistakes, or it was better. How can we make this better? And the only way to make it better is to consistently believe in the ability to see. And seeing, like I said, is what? The mental image of something that is not perceived as real. You must make it real. And the only way to make it real is to have the sight line to see. You cannot go through life without seeing. And seeing could be what? Your ambition. I want to be a doctor. I want to be what? An engineer. I want to be a lawyer. Or foremost, you want to become an actor, which is key now. Actors are making money. Musicians are making money. Designers are making money. So it's no more, or rather no longer in vogue for somebody to tell you you want to become what? A lawyer, a doctor. No. What's key? Ask yourself, my heart beats. What do I want to see of myself? Or rather, what am I seeing of myself to become in the future? So once you know that, you must vividly imagine that that can work for you. Because if you don't do that, nobody. And I give this in local parlance. Say, instead, I like to, if you permit me to use pidgin English, if this is going to go international, but we'll explain to them. Instead, when person will carry you for back, make your leg dey touch ground. Calm down, waka yourself. Because that's the only way we can jump together. But your weight can push the guy down, and you will not get to the zenith of wherever you want to go. So come down, learn the walk tall, feel strong, because there's nothing on earth that is impossible if you make and believe, desire to see it. And that's the key. Imagine that which you think is impossible, and your vision is never going to be blurry. It's a perfect sight. So people, in your creative mind, see, believe, and the future will be what? Impossible. Thank you.